What makes an ad good? What makes it perform? Is it a good click-through rate, a good hook rate, a good CPC? What exactly makes an ad perform? There is no consistent study which ensures that you make ads which always perform. There is no holistic way of doing it. It only depends on how you analyze your winners and your losers. That is something that we can standardize. Now, the goal of this video is to help you understand how to analyze video ads, not just see, okay, hey, this hook is working or my competitor is doing this meme dance and I'm going to do the same. Not that way. How to look at deeper metrics, which metrics to look at, understand the logic behind it, see if that ad can be replicated or scaled, and then make better ROAS and better money for your clients. I presented this documentation to a client of ours. We have recently onboarded them and they have tried out everything under the sun. They were utterly confused what kind of reels and what kind of ads to make for making performance consistent. That was the main keyword, consistent. Growth that is consistent, which doesn't just go up and then come down, it stays in terms of ROAS, in terms of revenue, in terms of scale, in every sense. So I analyzed their top winners and their top losers, and I came upon a documentation which I presented to them. It's verbatim that they said that I have never had this amount of clarity about my advertising process and about the data that we are seeing on the ads manager up till now. That was the response that our client gave us. They run an education ed tech kind of a product. I would call it an info product in all its rights. So the ROAS that they were expecting is somewhere around a 2x, and they were not achieving that, consistent 1.3, 1.4, something like that. So I went deeper into their data to understand what is working and what is not. And what I came up with is a fairly good documentation, which I will present on this video, which I believe will help you get better in analyzing ads as well. So without any further ado, let's get into the screen. In the next 10 minutes, I'll take you through 10 ads and give you an idea about how decision making on ad performance actually happens. Now, in this ad, as you can see, the hook rate is 29%, which is pretty good. Now, hook rate is the number of people who saw the first 3 seconds of the ad, who got hooked, right? So that's 29%. And hold rate, people who saw the rest of the video, is 1.1%. So after the first 3 seconds, it means whatever was promised in the hook, that was not delivered, right? The attention grabbing mechanism was great. You were able to grab attention, but after that, you were not able to deliver. It's kind of like a movie which has an awesome trailer, but in the theater, it really sucks, right? So it doesn't hold attention as good as it grabbed attention, right? So that sustained that went poorly. So it means whatever hook mechanism is here, it can be replicated on other videos, but the hold, right, the topic of the video, the way the things are being delivered has to be optimized. So that's what hold rate signifies, right? So in this video, you see the hook rate is good, the hold rate is bad. Now, when we look at the important metric, ultimately it is the ROAS and the profit that we make. The ROAS is pretty good, 2.17. For the account, which has a minimum requirement of 1.7 to 1.8, a 2.17 is fairly good. Now, to a person who just looks at this number, they'll be like, okay, I should scale this 2.17. For me, it's good. I put more money into it, but then the performance will tank. Now, what is the reason? When you go deeper into it, you see your new audience, which is basically the new customers which are seeing this ad, people who have not heard of you, who have not purchased with you in the past, they are not as receptive in terms of ROAS as compared to existing customers. When an existing customer is seeing this ad, maybe they've purchased from you 3 months ago, 4 months ago, whatever, they are converting quicker, which ideally is the case for any brand. But yeah, 3.02 is the ROAS there and 1.53 on the new customers. This artificially inflates my overall ROAS number. So when I increase the budget here, it is going to tank because you can't increase the number of existing customers as compared to new audience. People who have never heard from you of you are always going to be higher as compared to people who have purchased from you. So when you increase the budget, it is going to start spending more in a pocket which is not as profitable. So it's going to tank. It's going to tank bad, and then you're going to say the ad was bad or Facebook ads do not work. This is example one of a good hook, bad hold, new customer ROAS low, not scalable ad. It would be a mistake to put more money into this ad in the future. Now, next ad. This is overall opposite of the previous one. It has an okay hook rate. As you can see, it's 22% as compared to the previous one. Not as good. Hold rate is much better. It's 2.08%, which is ideally double of last one. In very simplistically, it's able to retain attention of double the number of people as compared to the previous video. It means the topic is more relevant for the audience that is seeing it. So that's a good thing. Whatever topic is being discussed in this video, which from my recollection was somewhere around wealth, it is going to retain better attention, right? And even in the gender split, previous one, the product is targeted towards general audience and parents specifically, just to give you like a hindsight of that. But yeah, when we are talking about wealth, we are getting more men in the funnel at a decent CAC. The rest of the ads have a very bad CAC of about 1,000, 1,200 for men, but this ad has a decent percentage of men coming in profitably, which is good for us. So yeah, those this also correlates to what topic is being discussed. So my correlation, if wealth is being discussed, more men will ideally purchase from us. So these are things that you always have to correlate. But yeah, back to the point, back to the topic, the important metric, which is the ROAS. Now, compared to the previous video, the ROAS is 1.87, not a very good ROAS, right? The previous one had a good, glorious 2.17x. This has a 1.87. Objectively, I would say this is a bad ad as compared to the previous one. But when you drill down, when you open it up, right, the new customers are actually giving me a better ROAS 1.81, which makes this ad much more scalable than the previous one. The existing customers is okay, 1.97. On the existing customers, this topic is not as receptive as compared to the previous one, which is fine. I'm okay with that, because more scalability can only be achieved through new audiences, not through existing customers. So this ad is an ad I can scale on top of the funnel. I might even exclude my existing customers, remove them entirely from the funnel to make my spend happen more here. As you can see, out of 1,24,000 INR, which is spent on this ad, roughly 60% is going on the existing new audience, and existing is getting about the rest 40% of the spend, which is not a good percentage. Your existing should not be above 15 to 20% in my experience. So it means in this account, existing audience is being, spent more upon by Meta automatically. So I might need to exclude them entirely, because had this been removed and this 52,000 gone more towards new audience, I might have made better, more incremental money, because existing customers will automatically at times come back in the future as well. It helps me in building the database. Yes, so this what ad number two. So this is how decision making looks. So okay, good hold. New customer ROAS good. So yes, it is scalable. So you can see ultimate decider of future scalability is ultimately ROAS itself. But these metrics definitely help me take a better decision. Here, I will be very sure if I want to make more ads in the future about this topic, the hook has to be optimized and made more relevant, more hookish, more relatable. But the topic is good. That is why it is getting a good ROAS. The next one is a pretty good example as compared to the previous one, ultimately because it is, it's very contradictory to what you would think. It has a good hook, it has a good hold. So by principle, it's good, but it did not scale, right? So how does this decision making on this happen? Because looking at the bigger picture, this looks like a great ad, right? So when I look at it, I'm like, okay, 29% hook rate, 1.87% hold rate. So okay, right? But when you look into it, your expectation would be that my ROAS would be glorious. But you see that it's 1.87, which is okay, fine. For an account which has a standard of 1.7, this is okay ROAS. But when you go deeper, you see your new customers are not getting a good ROAS. They're actually burning 1.67x as compared to existing customers, which has 2.71. So it means this ROAS is again being driven by existing customers, right? It's not being spent upon that much. But yeah, that is the reality of the conundrum. And then what to do in a situation like this, right? So in this specific scenario, this is a good ad. The ad is not good. This is actually getting me a good eyeballs from existing customers, right? As a matter of fact, the hook rate might be artificially high because my existing customers are finding it more relevant. So new customers might not be hooking in that much as compared to existing. So this could be again a little bit of a bloated number, because these are blended metrics. These are absolutes overall, looking at the entire thing, not broken down segment by segment. But yeah, this ad I will surely keep in my funnel, maybe in the retargeting loop, maybe just running like this as it is, but I will not scale it. I will not put more money into it. So that comes down to decision making. So this is a good ad, Not at all a bad ad. It's a good hook, good hold. The topic is good. The approach of the ad is good. Maybe I can make some changes on the hold aspect of things, which is, rest of the video to see what can be improved. But yeah, this is a good hook, good hold. New customer ROAS is decent, so I won't chuck away with it. Right. Even my gender split. One thing I would do is I might exclude men entirely out of this ad because it's getting very high CAC of 1,000 rupees on this as compared to women. So it will improve my ROAS essentially. But yeah, this is not a scalable ad. I cannot put more money onto the ad. So if I see the previous ad and this ad, and objectively, if I see, just a sec, both of the ads are having literally the same ROAS 1.87, right? Ad number two and ad number three, I would scale ad number two because it has better ROAS, a new audience as compared to ad number three. So there it is. This is how you make decision making, not scalable. Okay. Now, next ad. Let's go to the next one. At number four, this is my favorite one. Good hook, bad hold. New customer ROAS is great. It is scalable. Right, let's go into it. The hook rate is 45%. This is because it is kind of like a meme, GIF kind of an ad. The format is like that, right? It's going for a recent meme or something, right? Which makes it very hookish. But obviously, when things like these explode up, obviously it does not hold attention. It's funny for the sake of the meme. It grabs attention and people do not really care after the 3-4 seconds because it's predictable in that sense. They just click on it, right? So this gets good cost per click. This gets good audience into the funnel, right? And if you go deeper into it, a 2.29 ROAS, which you break it down, 2.14 on the new audience and 2.57x on the existing audience. My gender split is also fairly well. My men are performing under 700 and my women are having a CAC of 675. Both are doing fine as compared to the rest of the ad that we saw. So this is an ad and a format we can replicate. This is what I take from this specific ad. So I'll keep it running. I'll keep it on top of the funnel, right? And maybe try it on some newer audiences. So I won't increase the budget on the ad set level majorly because as you can see, it's going up and down, up and down. But I will keep this ad in the funnel, maybe on some different audience segment, maybe in a cost cap or something like that. But this is an ad which I can replicate as well, expect a predictable return and keep in the funnel. So this is an ad that I would surely be keeping an eye on. This is a format. So good hook, bad hold, but with context, new customer ROAS is good. So yes, scalable. Next ad. So ad number five, we are having an okay hook rate and a hold rate, which is also pretty mid, right? The new customer ROAS. So these two metrics pretty poor. I wouldn't expect a lot. Right. But now when we go deeper into the thing, 1.76, it's okay, mid performance. Don't know what to do with it. Right. And when you go deeper into that as well, there are two problems if you see here. Two major problems. One, which is pretty obvious, the new audience ROAS is 1.51. So this 1.7 is not as good as I would want it to be. That's problem number one. Problem number two, which is a consistent problem on other ads as well, is the percentage of spend penetration in existing customers. This 42,000, 50% of the spend is going to existing customers. Now, any business would expect its existing customers to not be spent upon that much. If you have already acquired them, spending more on that audience segment does not make sense in the long term. I'm actually burning 50% of my cash here. Had I even spent that much amount on my new audience, I might have gotten more new customers, which I could have liquidated a better ROAS from in the future. So, ideally, any business would expect its returning customers to come back into the funnel at a lower cost and not at this kind of a cost. So that is one, that's the major drawback here. So one decision making is I need to start removing the existing customers from audience top of the funnel, basically on the ads. At least start with that exercise and see how the ad performance react. That is what my team is doing as of with this account as well. Now, when we look at the gender split as well, men are having a better CAC, but I cannot be sure of these metrics because I'm fairly certain they are coming from new audience. Sorry, existing audience. My bad. Yes. So this is ad number five. This is not a scalable ad. I will not scale this ad. I might keep it and observe it. But this is neither a concept of the ad cannot be replicated. So this is not something I'll do in the future. And the hold aspect also needs to be improved. So if I want to improve the top of the funnel reactivity of this ad, I will work on the hold aspect because hook is pretty okay. I don't think much can be done. But yeah, hold needs to be something which needs to be made more relevant based on my feedback from the previous ad. So this was ad number five, not a very scalable ad. and not at least with where it is right now. Again, apologies, I cannot show you the exact ads because of my NDAs. I do not intend to, but importantly so, I think these data metrics are pretty relevant. Now, ad number 6, this is a mid hook, right, of 24%, not the best hook, but a great hold. 2.51% is a great hold rate, right? So the attention is getting held in the wider funnel. That is great, right? Now, and when we look at the ROAS, the new customer ROAS is good, 2x ROAS, and the existing customer ROAS is good as well. I would call this ad mildly scalable because it has not been spent upon that much, so I don't have a lot of data from the account's perspective to actually make a decisive call on this. But with what I have, this is something I would love to spend more, maybe with entirely removing existing customers from the funnel and then testing out what the final performance is going to be like, right? Also, excluding men entirely, as the CAC of the men is pretty high as compared to CAC of women. So that is again a decision making that we will be doing as we relaunch this ad or try it out on different audience segments. But this is mildly scalable. I'm still shaky about it, as you can see, but on the hindsight, pretty good. So can be definitely be looked at in detailed format. Next ad is a bad hook. 13% is a very piss poor hook rate, and the hold rate is also not good. With a ROAS of 2.22. Now, this is again a dichotomy. How does one look at these data metrics, right? The ROAS is 2.22, looks glorious. Anyone would make the mistake of spending more on this ad as compared to the previous one, right? Because the ROAS here is good, 2.22. I'll just spend more money on it. You break it down. Out of 35,000, 60% plus almost 70% is getting spent on existing customers, and only 11,000 is spent on new customers where there's a beta switch. So it is getting more attention because of existing customers as compared to new customers. So I would definitely like to test this on separately, because out of 11,000 spent, we are getting a new customer ROAS of 1.89. And this is definitely not something which can be scaled upon in entirety, because existing will take more of the budget. And when I increase the budget to, even 30% higher, this number is going to crash. This 2.22 is going to come down, because you cannot expect existing customers to keep on churning out profits day after day after day. New customer has to take more spend penetration, right? So that is how we will be looking at it. So my decision for this, not scale it upright right now in this format, relaunch it, maybe test it out with an excluded existing customers and then test it out. But that is what I would do, because these numbers again are very, very bloated, right? And I can only make a call on this after a certain amount of higher spend has happened. But that's pretty much that's great enough. And here, one more interesting thing: both genders are equally receptive, so that's good. I don't need to exclude men specifically. I think that's fine. Next ad is a scalable ad. We have, and it is, I think it is the same format which I showed you guys, which was hook number 4, which had a great hook and a bad hold rate, majorly because it was a GIF meme kind of a format. This is the same format. We replicated that, and the performance replicated itself as well. Great hook rate of 49% because it's a GIF-ish, hookish meme, I would say, kind of an ad that grabs attention, gets the clicks, gets the conversions. I think both the audiences, top and existing, convert at a decent rate. That's good enough for me. So yeah, this is something which we can scale separately as a concept itself. This ads, this ad format can be scaled up. Next ad. Whew, this is a good hook rate. Okay, hook rate. This pathetic hold rate. The new customer ROAS looks okay. As you can see, 1.76. I can mildly scale this. Again, the problem is that it has the ROAS looks good because of existing customers. You have spent very heavily, more than 70% again, on existing customers, because of which the ROAS looks good, but in actuality, it is not. So again, it's mildly scalable because a lot of spend has not happened on this ad. I cannot take a decisive call, but it's same as the previous ad that I showed you, I think 2 slides back, which was slide number 7, in which I took a similar decision. I would just keep it in the funnel, exclude the existing audience and see how it performs. Surprisingly, men is having a better CAC, but it very much could be coming because of the existing customers as well. So a purification of the campaign has to be done, in which existing customers are entirely removed, and then you see what happens, and then you find actual scalability in the ad formats. The next ad is mildly scalable one, which has a hook rate of 18% and a hold rate of 4.51. So the hook is pretty bad. The hold is fairly good. So it must be of a relevant topic, right? It's keeping the attention that it is retaining, and it's fairly because of that we are getting any kind of ROAS. It means that we are improving the hook, right? The hold is going to improve automatically. The performance is going to improve automatically. So the hook, if we improve that, take it towards 10% notch up somewhere around 25%, have a more hookish ad initiation, it is going to perform well. That's pretty much it. That is how you analyze ads data, try to figure out the creative reason for that ad to scale, and make a decision. It is the ultimate decision making which is most important. People look at an ad, they look at a facile metric like CTR or CPM in without any context. These metrics are sheer numbers. But when you use these metrics to tell a story, that is when it gets interesting, and that is when you actually build ROAS. Out of all the examples that I showed you, I never looked at one metric in silos. Okay, good hold rate or good hook rate, I'm going to scale it up. It has to culminate, and then a hypothesis has to be built. These are fairly detailed discussions. My goal with this video was to teach you the approach of data analysis when it comes to meta ads, specifically video content, and try to find correlations and build hypotheses and use those hypotheses to create future ad content. It's not rocket science, it's fairly simple discussions. And that is something that if you are not having with your marketing team currently right now, that's not judicious. Always use a correlation metric between data, which is quantitative, and creatives, which is qualitative, and try to find the middle ground. If this is working, why is it working? And what segment is it working for? All those discussions have to keep on happening. So I hope this video was beneficial, it was educational, and yeah, thanks for sticking by. If you see this, please subscribe. I would love to keep on sharing such knowledge with you. And if you have any questions, please put them in the comment section. I would love to address each and every question that you guys might have. Till then, see you in the next one.